up and strap in. You've clicked that pile of audio gold known as the Half-Assed Podcast. And now, it's starting. So here's a person to say some things.
Sweet.
Oh, man. That was a fun 3 days.
Oh, I bet.
So, maybe we just start with that. I'll give you a super fast rundown of the whole ordeal. So Thursday night, we're trying to record the Dynasty podcast, and I keep getting interrupted because my wife's calling and yelling that the dog is throwing up. And I'm like, well, you know, he eats dumb shit all the time. This is par for the course. So I go up, clean it up, and she's like, no, he's really fucked up. So I go up, I'm looking around like, what could he have possibly ate? I find my little rubber container of Delta 8 dab oil, pried open and licked clean.
Oh, man. Yeah. That's...
Yeah.
You know, the worst part about that is oil's active. So...
Right. So you can ingest it because...
Yeah, you can technically just eat it if you really wanted.
Well, now he's got me curious because, well, that's what I was thinking is like, well, if he threw it all up, he should be all right. And I said, no, I bet he chewed that like a Jolly Rancher and just crunched it on down and absorbed it right away.
Yeah. I'm sure he was higher than a fucking kite.
Well, that was Thursday night. So I took some video. He's in the hallway, and it's a look I've seen before. I came up through the 90s, so I've been to my share of raves, and I've seen that guy who just realized he's in way over his head. He's starting to get fear.
His soul's starting to separate from his body.
Yep, Teddy could taste colors that day. He can't see them, but he could taste them. Then he proceeded to piss himself. And then run around like a madman, barking and running circles through a pool of his own piss. Then he went down to the couch and literally looked like Hunter Thompson in Fear and Loathing, where the fear was starting to set in. He was going, like this weird breathing. And I'm like, oh, God, limes? What limes, man?
Oh, I'm sure he was completely gone. And weirdly, like, being too high is one of, like, the worst experiences.
I know. I just kept saying, this is a rite of passage. Welcome to the club, buddy. So
when I first smoked with my buddies, that's, like, the thing. It's like, oh, I don't want to be too high. He's like, sometimes you have to be uncomfortably high. I was like, oh, God. And, you know, they make you fucking hit a gravity bong for your first time, and you're just dead.
Yeah, you're trying to buy a Mountain Dew and you're like terrified and confused.
Yeah, I remember like one of the first times I smoked weed, we went to a restaurant. Like the first time I smoked a blunt, you know. We went to a restaurant and the lady came up and she asked everyone for a drink and she got to me. I'm like, oh, I'll take a hamburger. She's like, I was asking what drink you wanted. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm really blitzed.
Oh, one of my favorites is... a buddy of mine back in high school. After school, he's like, hey, I got to go get sewing scissors for my mom. I'm like, okay, what's that got to do with me? He's like, you're going with me. We're going to Platteville. So we go to Walmart, and he's super baked. Like, he's not sure how to find scissors, but he doesn't want to ask anybody because he's way too high. So finally, I ask somebody, and we get back there. He gets the right kind of scissors. We get to the checkout, and he's trying to find the shortest line so he can get out. Walks into the Express, and it's a little person.
Oh,
and
no.
He looks at her and goes, and starts running through
like
Walmart.
That South Park episode?
Laughing at the top of his lungs. I'm like, and I'm just standing there looking at her like.
When Cartman sees that midget for the first time, he just busts out laughing.
Yeah.
Someone
I forgot
even
about
put a
that.
little suit on him.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. That's classic.
That's one of my favorite episodes because that one is also paired. Oh, I can't remember the second half of the episode, but they have another story in that one, and it's amazing.
He was a great foil for Cartman, like one of the better ones.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy, shut up. He's jealous. I'm sleeping with the dog.
Now?
Oh, God. Maybe he's 15.
He's lasting.
Well, the oldest cat I ever saw was 21 years old. It was the most
Looks like it got
depressing
hit
thing.
by a car and it didn't.
It did. It looked like it had died, and somebody was like using marionette strings to animate it because like the joints didn't bend. So he
And
walked
their
through the
hair
room.
turns to like wire brush.
Yeah, missing huge chunks of it, so it's like patchy hair. And he walked out straight legged and looked at me and opened his mouth and meowed, and nothing came out.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh God, this cat he's killing my good time. Then he proceeded to accidentally take a shit while he was walking and walk right through the room. He tried to lay down, but he couldn't bend his legs, so he had to just tip over.
Yeah, cats are weird like that. It's like that Joe Rogan bit where he's like, dogs, when you're high, they just like, oh, let's go do something. But like a cat will come and just stare at you and be like, you know you're gonna die, right? It's just like they just give off that weird fucking energy. I think I could beat a dog in a fight. I'm not sure I can beat a 15-pound cat in a fight.
What was the thing online going around? It was the difference between my dog and your cat is that if they both woke up and were 500 pounds tomorrow, my dog wouldn't eat me.
Yeah, dude,
That
cats
cat,
are weird.
Man, he'd be snacking on you before your eyes were open.
Yeah, that's a thing we should talk about. People who own a lot of exotic pets, I feel like they're just batshit crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be an element to that. I mean, I like an exotic pet as much as the next guy, but there's a line. Fuck.
Like every crazy, rich, crazy person just buys a zoo eventually. Mike Tyson. God. What's the cocaine dealer? Fuck, what was that guy's name?
But they actually just talked about this on Levitard the other day. Ron McGill, the zoo guy, said at one point Shaquille O'Neal went to him and like, Ron, I want to get a tiger.
And he said, you don't, bud.
And he said, I looked at him and said, Mike Tyson has a tiger. Do you want to be like Mike Tyson? And he said he never asked me about a tiger again.
Yeah, Mike Tyson was on the Rogan Experience, and they asked him, they're like, what made you think you could get a tiger? He's like, I was in prison, and I was talking to my buddy, like his agent or whatever, and he's like, oh, I traded some of my cars for horses. He's like, I can trade cars for animals? He's like, yeah, I can get you some tigers. He's like, fuck, I'll take 4 of them. He's like, when I got out of prison, there were just 4 baby tigers there.
And he said they were surprisingly cheap. I mean, it's a relative term.
I've looked it up. They're like probably like $2,000.
I was going to say one of the guys from the show said 20 grand, and he was like, no, way lower.
Way, way lower. Because I know the dude he used to live in between Dickeyville. He was my buddy's neighbor. He had a tiger.
No shit.
Just one tiger, and he said it only cost him like $3,000 or something when he got it.
Feeding it would be the costly thing.
That's what it is. You know, eventually they're going to be giant, and you got to feed them 50 pounds of meat a day.
And have enough area. I mean, yeah, you can't just, I'm sure he would have had to just keep that fucker caged because.
It was in like a circle cage.
Yeah, because otherwise, if he gets, even with an outside thing, I just imagine a fucking tiger running around Grant County.
He even had a full pack of wolves, like 15 of them.
Jesus H. Christ.
Yeah. He had all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah,
he had a parrot, you'd walk in and it'd be like, hey, fucker.
That's if I got a parrot, it would just be for it to swear.
Yeah.
Like, you want this parrot? Does he swear? No? Then fuck you. I want that parrot. That swearing son of a bitch. What use is he to me?
Yeah, exotic animals, man. And Wisconsin is like one of like 2 states that have like 0 regulation on him.
And you see enough just being in a rural area. I've seen somebody with a calf, which is a baby cow stuffed in the back seat of a car. So nothing quite like a car dragging on the ground, with cow shit all over the interior. Terrified baby cow. I've seen a guy washing a cow in a car wash. So, I mean, you see things.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you think about like people in the city have No fucking clue.
Right? It's a different, like, it's a whole different knowledge base. It's like, yeah, sure, I'm a hillbilly who would get killed in the city, but yeah, you're gonna wind up like running over a cow or something and dying.
And like my dad said, that dude from Philly that came to his work, and he never left Philly, and he came running in. He's like, I saw a deer with a tree growing out of its head. He's like, you mean antlers, you fucking idiot?
Like, I don't know, is that what they call them? It's fucking scary. One of the better stories I remember was one of your dad's where he was waiting to meet with somebody, I think about renting a house, and the guy was hauling cattle, so he was going to stop by on the way. And he said the guy showed up and he's made some comment about, yeah, I'm hauling these cattle. And your dad looked over and was like, what cattle? And he looked over and the back door was open. And
oh no.
Yeah, so he said the dude had to backtrack, and literally every stop sign he hit, there was a cow just standing there. like the truck stopped and the cow was like, oh, we're getting out here. All right, this is my stop. See you later, fellas. And so yeah, he backtracked and picked them all up one at a time.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize how like dangerous like bulls are, and like cows in general.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people realize like a water buffalo is like more dangerous than a lion in Africa.
Yeah, because I mean it's a big lumbering thing. It's like a moose. A moose will fucking kill you. He might be a herbivore, but he'll stomp your ass dead. You frighten him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the hippo kills more than like anything in Africa, like people wise.
You imagine one of those things coming at you? Fuck.
Yeah, dude, those things are gnarly. They're like water pigs.
Giant water pigs. Those big chiclet teeth they got. That'd be terrifying. One of those coming at you. You feel the ground shaking.
Another fucking baboon's sound. Another crazy one too.
Oh yeah, they just scare me. They're like that one crazy white guy that's hanging out with a bunch of brothers, where that fucking guy's out there. That's a baboon. Like, oh yeah, crazy Pete. No, you don't want to fuck with him.
No, well, they were saying like monkeys like know what you like value on your body, so they'll like rip your fingers off and go for your nuts and shit.
Like, yeah, like this guy likes his hands. Fuckers coming into my cage. Let's get it on.
Baboons are like what they say, dog monkeys.
Man, they're fucking scary. That giant red ass, like, no, thank you. It's got like blue on it. No animal's got blue on the skin. That's weird, terrifying.
Yeah, they got dealt a shit hand in that department.
Yeah, the giant inflamed ass. Yeah, it's a losing one.
It's like I saw a thing super scary, and then they turn around like, what the fuck? That thing's got a tumor.
You get that check, buddy. I saw a thing online today. It's basically like, you can make up anything and call it a fact as long as you do it about animals. Because
that is true.
Because how do you dispute it? It's like the Lebitard show. Is dude on there a few weeks ago. It's like ducks are free. Like, what are you talking about? It's like they're free. There's ducks in a pond. You just go scoop them up, take them home. Free duck.
They technically are.
Well, and that's what they had a big back and forth, and they brought the zoo guy on, and he's like, yeah, certain species, if they're not put there intentionally, like somebody owns it, like, yeah, you can kind of take a duck if you take care of it. And
that's funny you say that, because I listened to a podcast and they were talking about ducks, and he's like, oh, I wonder how long they live. And one of the ones, they had like a banded one, It was like 1980 something. They banded it.
Okay.
It was shot in Cuba in 2005. It was like 29.
Wow.
It's like you see a duck, you don't think they're fucking 30. It's
right.
Weird.
It's like he's nearing the end of the life cycle. I actually used to have baby ducks, so I guess technically that's true, because the guy that got them for me was my brother-in-law. He literally just scooped them up from the town pond in like Monticello, Wisconsin.
You can go to Tractor Supply and buy ducks and chickens, like in there.
Have them shipped. Ship some fucking chickens, man. It's weird.
Super weird.
And I got two baby ducks, and
what happened to them?
Well, if it was funny because I had them in like a big cardboard box. But if you separated them, they'd start chirping at each other until you put them back together. So we named them Cheap and Chong.
Yeah, I think they like almost need more than one.
Well, yeah, I'm sure like separated from the rest of his family. Like, what the fuck? Somebody snatched me out of the water and threw me in a corrugated box. What the fuck's going on here?
A single duck. That's one lonely duck.
Right. Like, what the fuck is he gonna do? Put a leaf in there, simulate his natural habitat.
Oh man.
Yeah, we went camping one weekend, and when I came home, I no longer had ducks. My sister had a party, and the story I was fed was that the duck drank too much water.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was one of those. Is like, I'm gonna let this go, but I'm fucking hanging on to this. Clearly, I have.
You know who's a bastard? Fucking geese. Those things are fucking.
Oh yeah,
they're such a nuisance.
I just heard some not 5 minutes ago before I came down here.
Every time we go to the Springbrook, I try to run one of those fuckers over.
Yeah, I do like to curse at him. Makes me feel like a big man.
Fucking shitting on the course.
Fuck you, Gracie shitting bastard. Get out of my backswing.
I did kill one of them when I was young. With a golf ball. I thinned it, hit it, and then hit it like in the body, but it rolled into the pond and drowned.
Flip upside down, legs kicking in the air.
Yeah, and then I'll never forget it. Like we wrapped around the course, after a few holes. Yeah, and there was like a group of people just like trying to save the duck. I'm like, that's been upside down for 15 minutes. He's long gone.
Like a fish are taunting him. Fuck you, Gary. Trying to eat me. Eat my young. Shoes on the other foot now, web-footed motherfucker.
Oh, man.
Oh, Mr. Pants. Meow indeed. Meow indeed, Mr. Pants. Yeah. I want to do like a FM morning show with the cat. It's the Dave and Pants morning show. How's traffic out there, Mr. Pants?
Wow. That'd be great.
Right on cue, he does it. Yeah. How's I-35 looking, Mr. Pants? Don't look at me. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Off season. I can't even bring myself to watch basketball.
No.
It's bad.
I mean, I'm playing fantasy baseball, but I don't watch any baseball, so
I don't even think they're playing.
No, they're still. I guess they're now going to miss the first two series of the season. But that's a dynasty league too, so I don't have to do any homework year to year. I just keep the whole team.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, as I basically said, if I have to do my homework every year for a draft to not look like an idiot, I'm not doing it. And I'm the one running the league, so
I couldn't do baseball.
I used to do a lot of baseball, but that's actually when I realized how bad my problem was, and then I needed to cut back.
I'm sure you'd have to look a lot on that.
You've ever played a rotisserie league?
No, I don't think so.
That's where you get, well, this is when I was still playing like a cumulative roto league. That's where it's not like head to head. You just keep track of all your stats in certain categories. And you get ranked like 1 to 10. Like first place in a category got you 10 points on down the line.
Okay.
Oh, when I was in one of those, I remember I was sitting at the computer at 5:30 in the morning trying to calculate in my head if taking on Michael Bourne's 239 average would offset the stolen bases he would get me. And I was like, I need to check into rehab.
You're like, wait a second, I have an addiction. Like it just hits you.
That was right when I realized. It was like Mitch Hedberg's Velcro wallet in the casino. It was like,
kind of catch myself doing that with football even.
I mean, that's kind of fun to get in the weeds on stats. Fucking get down. God, he insists on getting up here and just ramming into the microphone stand.
Yeah,
Sit in the chair.
You can dive real deep in football too if you really fucking do it.
Right, especially some of those sites now, and like even making up stats. Like there's this dude, he actually worked for ESPN for a while, Irish dude, until they end up firing him. But he was so in the weeds with some of his stats, like he's made his own. Like yeah, like he didn't chart interceptions, he charted interceptable passes. So like a good ball that got tipped and intercepted, he didn't count as an interception.
Yeah, the one podcast I listen to, they kind of like go crazy like that too.
Yeah,
they're
that's
like,
kind
this
of becoming
person,
the new trend.
Yeah, and it's some of them are useful, but some it's just like, all right, now you're just gonna make me overthink.
Well, that was the thing. Like, I absolutely loved the information he gave me because he charted accurate passes, didn't necessarily chart completions. I was like, well, who cares if the guy fucking caught it? The point is, did he throw it well?
Yeah.
And then I got all this information and was like, I'm not sure what to do with it. Like, what does it do that Marcus Mariota was the best downfield passer in terms of pass accuracy? Like, does that mean anything?
They did.
Like,
they were doing that too. That same stat.
Yeah.
They were talking about Burrow was really high.
Yeah, it's like I can't figure out how to apply it. I mean, I guess you just have to basically take it into your overall knowledge and have it in there to factor against. Like otherwise, like you said, you overthink it.
The problem I had is they were like, okay, so they did like a thing where it's like the most accurate passer's average yard was like 15 yards. But then they're like, well, Burrow is the first person he was like the most accurate passer, but his average was over 30.
Oh, wow.
And it's like stuff like that. But it's like, is that him doing it? Is that just Jamar Chase wrecking people?
Well, that's true, because did he throw, like, are they saying the overall pass, or are they charting where the pass was thrown?
Yeah.
Because was that a 5-yard dump off that he took 70 yards?
There's so much weird stuff that would go into stuff like that
Right.
They don't. But the same thing, it's like they would like, I remember one of the Bears thing, when Trubisky was on it, they were talking about his accuracy. I'm like, well, yeah, he's going to have a better accuracy because they throw 500 screen passes.
Right. And that's like, really where I started looking at that, because that was a stat that he didn't break down the length of the final pass. He charted it from where it was thrown. And then you'd see a guy and like, oh, he's got like 68% completions. And the dude would be like, well, yeah, because he's throwing 75% of his balls 2 yards past the line or further back.
Yeah, didn't even get 5 yards. Like, all his passes are super short.
Right. And he'd like tell you who led the league in passes behind the line of scrimmage. And you're like, oh, it was always some dude that I thought of as really accurate and good. And it was like, nope, he's just dumping out to the running back in the backfield. It's like basically, if he was a couple steps further ahead, it would have been considered a pitch backwards. But no, there's a forward pass behind the line of scrimmage.
That's like, it's like I listen to that stuff and I read and stuff, but like when it comes down to like drafting and stuff, I realize just going with like my gut feeling just makes me do better. Because if you think about all that stuff, you're just gonna fuck up your draft.
Yeah, it gets to be too much. I used to do all that with the combine. I still got my notebooks down here where I used to height and weight, and I charted, specific things that there were certain measurables I was looking for, and I got all into the weeds on it. And it's just like, my percentage of hits is no better than when you just like, oh, that guy landed on a good team. I'll just take him. I feel like it.
I remember like when what's his name? Bridgewater went to Panthers. I literally just read, oh, it was like 2 days after you went there. It's like, oh, he's having good success with DJ Moore at practice. And I literally was like, fuck it, I'll draft DJ Moore for like $10. And I've been getting him every year since then. He's a consistent PPR guy. And it's just like little stuff like that. You just go with your gut,
Yeah, that's why, like I said, I drafted Deebo Samuel everywhere I could because his name is Deebo.
Yeah.
He needs to be on my team.
He plays like a Deebo too.
That's literally the extent of what I knew about this guy. But I was like, nope, he's mine. I love him.
Yeah, he literally plays like a Debo. He is insane.
Yeah, that's banked out. I missed him by one pick in our league, and I'm still not happy. No, I missed him by a couple of picks. I missed Metcalf by one.
Yeah, I can't even think of another wide receiver that's like him. He just like powerhouse runs.
Yeah, he gets to get used as a running back.
Basically, they do a bunch of end arounds with him. That's like half his scores.
It's insane.
They just give him the ball. He's one of those guys, you know. Just get the ball in his hands.
Well, that's what makes Miami so interesting because, like, well, was that their offensive coordinator? Is Miami going to pull that shit with Waddle? Is that just things specific to Debo? Like, I'm excited to find out.
Well, Miami will. I've been like, I just watch them like me and my brother always watch them on Sundays. So like, I'm deep into like Dolphins, and they just run those weird plays like West Coast. They'll do like a Wildcat and stuff. They'll do all sorts of crazy stuff. I think they run like some of their like drives will be filled with like 5 trick plays, like weird stuff like that.
Okay. Well, that'll be all new staff there. So,
but they've always been a slot person too, because when Landry was there, they just fed him too.
Yeah.
And obviously they're different coaches now, but
right.
I'm curious to see how Tua does now.
Yeah, because this is really this will be it. Basically, this year, either he does something where you say he's your starter, or you go look at it as we need to address that position still.
What annoys me is when you have like a QB like that, like Arizona doesn't do it with Kyler either. They don't do like option runs and shit. It's like, why aren't you doing option runs? I don't get that. Like, you have a fast QB that runs around anyway.
Yeah, maybe they don't want to get him hit.
RPOs and yeah, I guess. But
I mean, some
it's
of
just
them
like, why not try him?
Like Wilson never seems to get hit square. Like you're always getting a glancing shot off him as he's going out of bounds.
Yeah.
Like, and some guys, like like Roethlisberger, is like hitting a truck.
Yeah, he'll just truck you.
10 years ago,
Josh
he
like
would have.
You.
Well, that's what has been kind of pissing me off when everybody talks about this, like how athletic. Like, hey, you remember Ben? Some of those fucking plays, he'd fucking shuck 4 or 5 guys, stiff arm, throw downfield. Like that guy was amazingly athletic back in the day.
Oh yeah, for sure. I watched an interview with him, and I went back and watched him when he like first started playing.
Yeah,
and insane. Like, he's just shedding people.
Yeah. And the funny thing was
giant.
Like the knock on him was that he couldn't throw. That's why like he always went so late in fantasy because like, oh, he's big and he can run, but he can't throw. And like, well, and then he starts putting up 500-yard games and 5 touchdowns. Like, I think he can fucking throw now.
That's what I loved about Big Ben. I love QBs who are like, I trust my receiver. I'm throwing it up. Like, he's like, this is the design play. Claypool's 1-on-1. I'm throwing it up.
Right, and that's always been what he's wanted, is a guy to go 1-on-1.
And that's why you get those 500-yard games. Like, that's why Stafford does that too. Like, he's like, all right, 1-on-1, I'm throwing it. I don't care. Like, there is no, like, second thought. He's tossing it up.
Well, and it was like Jonah was saying on the Dynasty pod, like, if you're going to lose, why not have it be fun? Like, you'd rather lose 35-32 or 6-9. Like, if he said Denver could come out there and
wide receivers happy, 1-on-ones.
Right. That's a guy that wants to go out there and fight for the ball. And like, that's got to be a good time. Let him do his thing. Yeah.
That's why I fucking loved Big Ben. Just toss her up. Let your dude fight for it. And when he catches it, like, his confidence boost is insane, Yeah. And that's big for a team.
Freiermuth is going to be the guy I'm really interested to watch this year. I'm confident about him, but I could, depending on who's back there, you might see a regression depending on who's throwing, though.
Oh, yeah. I think, I bet that Haskins beats Rudolph.
It wouldn't
guarantee
surprise
it.
me.
He looked so good in preseason. Like, I think him and Tomlin, like, I think Tomlin will put a fire under him. Like, he needs someone like that.
And I'm still waiting for us to do something sneaky like bring in Fitzpatrick. I don't think he's hung him up yet.
Oh,
I've
that'd be
just been
awesome.
assuming that he's going to.
That would be amazing.
Oh, I'd love to have a quality backup. I mean, look at that when Ben went down, 3 years ago or whatever it was.
I
If
was
we would
hoping
have
like
had,
Mariota would go somewhere.
he still might. I mean, you never know. It's like I said, we get that crop of older guys retiring. Experience isn't a thing a lot of guys have. Like Sam Darnold is going to keep getting chances because he's one of these few guys out there who's got starting experience.
And an amazing backup if you really want him.
Well, right, because if you want, like, I want to back up with experience. Well, there's like 5 of them, and most of them are going to get starting gigs. So,
oh yeah, like
it's not like it was where there was always these guys that had gotten a shot, and you don't have that.
Yes, Sam Darnold would be a great backup.
Still only like 25.
Yeah, and he kind of got dealt a shit hand too.
Twice.
They started out 3-0 with him.
Yeah.
Christian got hurt.
I don't think anybody believed that, though. I was like, yeah, okay, Darnold looks iffy.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's still young. I mean, he's kind of got that same Dwayne Haskins deal going where it's like, seems like he's been around a bit, but you forget he's like, we still got some room to 30 there.
Yeah. And yeah, there's the QB situation in the league right now is just insane. So many things can happen.
It's just, it doesn't feel like there's been this much flux in a while. I mean, losing Brady and Ben
too.
is right. And philosophies in general, like things are, it's going to become even more and more. It's going to be like baseball in the fucking 80s. Everything's going to be scheme fit specialist for this. It's certain coaches can only have certain kinds of quarterbacks. We're heading there.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And a lot of big wide receivers up too.
Yeah, it's a good market. I really wish Godwin wouldn't have got hurt. That would have been a really fun free agency wide receiver class.
Oh, yeah. I mean, where does he go?
I mean, I could still see him signing somewhere like Las Vegas.
Packers.
Maybe. I mean, it's
no money for him.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's got to be somebody that's going to have the room to absorb a guy that you're not going to have.
Vegas for
right
sure
away.
would work.
Yeah, and
especially since Ruggs killed the person.
Right, there's a vacancy. Or like Houston. I don't know why I always think Houston.
For sure there too, yeah.
Because they're a team that, I mean, who knows what the hell they'll do. I would assume they're gonna just move anything of any value.
Well, that
isn't much.
Their QB's not bad. Mills had some good games.
No, and he's still only he's 24 too, I believe. So
I think they're running with him. Levy Smith was on Pat McAfee show, and
I don't know why he wouldn't.
He sounded like he was sticking with him.
Well, that's the perfect situation. That's exactly what you want is a low price quarterback on a rookie deal. I mean, if they can finally get Watson moved, I think you feel all right having a cheap guy there, and then you move.
They said we'll know about Watson April 1st.
Really?
That's what they said. Should know. But that's Houston's in a weird spot.
Yeah, it's supremely weird. That's what I said. If they can get Watson moved, I'm not sure what they'll do with somebody like Cooks. I can see them just moving anybody with any kind of contract on them and
for sure.
Fuck it, start over.
Might as well. I wouldn't keep Cook or pay him.
No, he never seems to, and we've decided he's already got to leave because he can't play somewhere 2 years in a row. That's not allowed. There's some weird rule. So he's got to leave Houston.
Yeah, I don't. Brandon, he's an interesting guy too. He's like the best fantasy player or the worst.
Yeah, I can't believe he keeps producing in these dumpster fire situations.
He's the best junk time wide receiver in the league.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, a dumpster fire where he's going to be the main target. There's no one else to throw to, and we're down by a lot.
Yeah, and it's crazy because he's older and he's never like been out, like
No, he really doesn't miss much time. That's why I said he
just
produces, and that why can't he stay anywhere? Like, what the hell? Like, that sounds like the perfect guy that you want. He produces. He doesn't cost you a shitload.
I'd want him on my team any day of the week as long as the money's right.
He never makes it 2 full seasons anywhere.
Yeah, true. But I mean, what are they going to do? Who else do they have?
Nobody. But I think that's the thing. If you blow it up, save some cash, and
Texans.
Yeah, I'm gonna look him up too.
Who.
Brandon Cooks.
Amendola, done. Dorsett, meh. Chris Conley's not bad, but he probably doesn't even see the field. They really have no one.
Oh, he was on the Saints for 3 years. Oh, that was his rookie deal, though, so they had control. 14, 15, 16, 17 to the Patriots, 18, 19 to the Rams. Oh, shit, 20 and 21 with the Texans. He's already got 2 years, so he cannot stay there. He's got to go.
They have nobody. Holy shit. Bill O'Brien, the hell were you doing?
Yeah, I love a horribly inept, mismanaged franchise. It makes me feel good.
That Hobson trade or that trade happened. Everyone was like, "What the?"
Well, because they're run so poorly, he was like, "I'm not staying here." It's like they're turning into the Jags.
Oh man, the Jags.
Yeah, I got a rule. I stay out of there
a little bit. I hope Lawrence has a decent year. I feel bad for him with that whole coaching shit.
Exactly, because
it wasn't even a team,
And that's what we said on the Dynasty Pod, is that you can't we can't say we know anything about Lawrence. Basically, you can't pin any of that on him. He gets a fresh start, and honestly, Doug Peterson is the perfect hire.
Perfect.
Like I wouldn't like him anywhere else.
Think that was the best coach hire out of any of the teams. Like that's just a smart move.
Yeah,
because he can provide structure. Yeah, and I mean Lawrence balled out against the Colts. He looked good.
Yeah, and like we were saying there, it's one of those situations where they just need an adult in the room.
Yeah.
And go, what are you doing? You kids get down from there. Why would you think you can climb up there? Who was in charge? And then you're like,
Lawrence, cut your fucking hair. just start fucking bossing people around,
I think it's what the last guy did. Went up and kicked the kicker in the leg and said, "Hey, make your kicks, dumb shit."
Yeah, Urban Meyer.
What a dumb like how
when they said he wasn't flying home with them on the jet and shit, I was like, what?
But it's just like, who thought that was a good hire? That's like anybody who looked at that was like, oh, this is going to end bad.
But it seemed like he just didn't even try. It's like, you're not flying home with the team.
Oh, he's all ego, man. It's fucking. He's been in that college game where they get fucking worshipped and paid millions and
to call the same play 50 times.
Right, because it's all about recruiting. And if your guys are way, way faster than the other guys, then who fucking gives a shit? You don't even got to call a good offense. Just, hey, you go be faster than him. Hey,
yeah, I tried to watch a Wisconsin game and I couldn't.
I know. I mean,
we get down and they still call 74 running plays.
Because we've got no speed. It's all up front bulk.
1 yard a run. Let him throw. I don't care if he throws picks. It's not working.
All of our recruits are big bulldozers up front. We're an offensive and defensive line drafting school. That's what we do.
So annoying. They just are like, nope, we're not doing that.
It's like we don't have the speed to match up against these guys to get better recruits, and the country laughs at us like,
It's
Fucking-
funny. How does Wisconsin produce great running backs? It's like, well, we hand it to them 47 times a game.
Right, and our offensive line is all bulldozers because
They're
that's
all
who we
farmers
recruit. These
from
big
the middle
fucking
of fucking nowhere.
cheese curd eating motherfuckers full of bratwurst, smelling like hay. Yeah, I've seen them guys. They can do some insane shit. That fucking country strength, it's nuts.
Yeah, I was thinking about the other day, like how weird would it to be in a locker room? It's just like some farmer kid. Now he's playing with some dude from the ghetto and like Chicago. Just a weird like melting pot.
Do you remember Big Country, Bryant Reeves?
No, I don't think so.
I knew he was before your time. I think he was drafted late 90s to one of like the expansion. Was it the Grizzlies?
Why?
Vancouver.
Why? What he do?
Well, he was just basically this big lumber and country looking white dude who got drafted early. And they were flying on the plane somewhere in his rookie year. And he went up to a dude and was like, hey, my ears are popping. What do I do? Because he'd never really ridden on a plane. And the guy gave him a piece of gum and he said, here you go, gum. Now you're covered. Your ears will be. And he left and he said he came back 10 minutes later and said, okay, now I need a piece for the other ear.
Oh God, dude. Oh, there's this fighter. He was on a D1 college school, and he was talking about just like how you just have like farmers, and then you have 7 black dudes from like the ghetto of Philly or like Chicago, and he's like, it's just the weirdest mix you'd ever see. It's just
Tony
a culture
Parker.
shock.
Tony Parker coming from France and learning English, but he learns English with like the accent. It's like, oh man, that is such a cool mix because it's like the French accent, but it's still somehow gangsta.
Tony
It's
Parker,
it's
that's
awesome.
a great name drop right there.
I do love me some Tony Parker.
Who's another?
Am I making
Derek
that up?
Fisher.
Oh, Derek Fisher with the headband. Top 5 headband guys. I got Baron Davis.
Oh, love me some headbands. Such a white person thing. Love it.
Bald dudes because your sweat gets in your eyes. Oh, Cliff Robinson. That's a classic.
It might have been Gerald Wallace.
I mean, I guess LeBron wears them.
Ben
so
Wallace,
shit.
I think.
Oh, yep, he's on top of the list.
Oh,
Ben
Allen
Wallace, a
Iverson.
headband guy.
For sure, too. God, Vince Carter.
Oh, yeah. Another bald dude. Yeah, Iverson, good call. I said
Did
LeBron.
Jason Williams wear
Shit.
headbands? I hope. White chocolate. Caruso wears headbands, if you know who that is.
No. I'm so not up on my basketball.
Oh, Rajon Rondo did.
Oh, Rondo. Yeah, there you go. Classic headbands. I said a lot of bald guys because that sweat fucking gets in your eyes and that shit stings. Take it from me. I can
Super. It does actually suck. That happened at work the other day, and I forgot how shitty that was.
Yeah, when you bald
Paul
is
Pierce.
worse. Oh yeah, how do we forget Paul Pierce? Garnett? Did Garnett ever wear the one?
Sometimes I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think
He's
he was
bald. He had to.
He's a yeah, same thing. I mean, fuck, you can't do anything if you can't see. Shit.
Oh man, Jason Williams. I gotta look up his highlights. He had the best like ball handling skills. It was great because he's like one of the only dudes who played like street ball in the NBA.
Right.
He would do like elbow passes and stuff.
Fun. Where the fuck did he go to school?
I don't know.
Is he the one that played with Randy Moss at Marshall?
Oh, he is wearing a headband.
Oh, yeah,
Nice.
there it is. That's because he shaved his head, didn't he?
Oh.
Oh. That no look shit. That's just fun.
Real.
Yep, shaved head.
Yep.
He learned. You got no hair. You gonna get shit in your eyes.
Oh.
Wow, took it himself. Did not see that shit coming.
On Iverson too.
Oh, wow.
That's Gary Payton. Oh.
Was it? He shredded the glove? No! No, he juked him out! Fuck! Well, that's an old Gary
Oh,
Payton.
look at him. He's a motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you he was fucking. Oh, he was talking and he was in his ear all day, and then that shit happened. It was like, all right, fucking. Oh yeah, knees all wobbly. Fuck. Oh, Jason Williams went to Florida. Who the fuck am I thinking of?
Oh, that makes sense.
Is that the same guy?
Any white guy from Florida is basically 40% black.
Right? He's that same guy I was talking about earlier. Like, you don't want to fuck with Waffle House Jason. He's fucking nuts, man. Saw him snort a whole line of buttermilk biscuit powder one night.
Fucking Waffle House. I forgot about those.
Washed it down with a shot of gravy. My man is insane.
Yeah, let's make a diner, McDonald's, that's open all the time. Just, of course, people are going to fight.
Yeah, 24 hours a day, so you know that your cook is on meth.
There's some classic videos from fucking Waffle Houses where the cooks are just boxing people. Just.
Oh, no, he went to Florida and Marshall. Boom.
Where's Marshall at?
Thundering Herd. I don't know where. Was that Virginia? I'm making that up too. Oh God, am I really going to test my memory? Let's find. I'm going to click. Let's click Marshall. Let's see if Ron's recall. That should be a segment. Ron's recall. So I'm 1 for 1 with Jason Williams at Marshall. So I'm assuming he went with Randy Moss. Oh, West Virginia. 1 for 2. Thank you for playing Ron's recall.
Oh man.
Well, I'm giving myself 1 for that playing with Randy Moss. So I'm 2 for 3.
Did he actually?
Yeah. They were on the basketball team together, if I remember correctly.
That's crazy.
Let me verify. You know what? Let's step back in for a wild card round of Ron's
Randy
recall.
Moss would have played basketball, of course.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's athletic enough for that shit.
Randy Moss is one of those guys that you just like. You show him a sport he's never played before, and he just wrecks everybody.
Right. Well, let's go. Let's consult the almighty Google for the ultimate tiebreaker. Marshall, we will search Jason Williams, Marshall, Randy Moss, and Internet. What is the outcome of Ron's recall?
They did.
Hot damn, 2 for 3. Ding the bell.